So how do we take a break from the break? Remember when you used to look at your packed day planner or calendar and think, oh my lands, how am I going to ever do all these things? What I would give for just a day with nothing to do, no appointments in my calendar. Well, we've had about 3 months of some similar things like that. Not everyone. A lot of people have kept working and are working harder, more creatively. Others have had to postpone events perhaps you were in charge of or looking forward to going to. People who spend a lot of time volunteering in churches and different organizations, that has been taken away. Appointments with new clients, both professional and social engagements, have been pretty much wiped out. We are slowly easing back into it. I find it troubling that some people just defiantly say, I will not wear a mask. No, you can't tell me to. As if that's the reason they're not doing it. They're just being defiant because we may have a mandate in our state where masks are required. And I've been wearing mine, of course, to the grocery store and any time that I'm in a situation where it's crowded, which I've tried really hard to avoid. If you look at it like you're protecting other people and they're protecting you, together you're both protected. That's great. There's very little chance of passing a virus or any kind of germs if two people are standing close together that are each wearing a mask. So let's do that during this transitional temporary time so that the virus is wiped out. And continue to pray every day that the Lord eradicates it, that He completely wipes it out. It's dissipated. It disappears. It goes away. It is cured. Everyone is healed. Thank you. So the idea too now is let's take a break from the break. A lot of us have had to be very creative with our work situations and perhaps childcare, managing different things, managing other people in your home, people that are working from home, people that are still going to work and then coming home with different protocol. Perhaps we could take a break from that for a little while, even while it's still going. Kind of like having a staycation when you're having a vacation but you don't really leave town. So what are some things we could do that would shake things up a little bit and be a little bit different? Because I know everybody's tried to clean and do closets, and I again say, I cannot. I clean, of course, but I can't get myself to clean out any drawers or closets or anything like that. Even with downtime, I can think of so many things I would much rather do. Read, go outside, walk, any number of things. Lay on the floor and look at the aquarium. So here's some new ideas, and this is for men and women. A lot of folks are eating at home more. That's good. So how about getting creative in the kitchen? For example, you can try new recipes or things that you've never done before. You can also try some more challenging culinary things, like start processing some foods. Put some stuff up, for example. Maybe you like jam and jellies. Making strawberry jelly or blueberry jelly, apple jelly, those things are not very hard to do. Making apple butter is a fun experience, and it smells so good. And you can make it either in jars that you freeze or jars that you actually do the canning process on, which is a little more involved and you really need to have the right equipment. So if you don't have that, I really encourage you to just, for example, put up some strawberry jam. There's lots of recipes you can find for refrigerator jams and jellies, and it's absolutely delicious. And when you pull it out in about 6 months when it's cold in the winter, it'll really taste like summertime fruit, and it's delicious. Another great idea is making some bread. A lot of men really enjoy doing that. I know a lot of guys who make bread. They either bake it themselves. Some have stone-fired ovens. Some use bread makers. Some just use a regular oven. But they really enjoy doing it. They enjoy the kneading process. They enjoy the chemical aspects of it. There's some chemistry going on to get that bread to rise, and mixing your ingredients at the right time and the right combinations, of course. There's bagels. A lot of people enjoy making bagels because you actually have to boil them for a little while before you bake them. And the benefits of that are you're doing something, it's very task oriented, you get to be a part of the whole process, then it smells wonderful when it's cooking, and then you have the benefit, the fruits of your labor right there. Who doesn't like delicious warm bread with butter or some of that jam you just made? We used to have a big garden growing up. I mean, almost an acre garden. And of course, once you have a garden, that requires that you process the fruits of it. So there was always beans to snap or hull or something to slice or can or freeze. I observed a lot. I definitely was involved in the snapping and the hulling, but as far as the actual canning and freezing, my mama did all that, and we reaped the benefits of it all year long. There was nothing better than her delicious foods we would have in off season, anytime from October to April before the garden came back in and we got things fresh again. She had the best canned green beans. Oh my lands, they were in big old glass jars, and when I went to college I would always take some back with me when I came home on the weekends to make sure I had a few jars of mama's delicious canned green, well, canned, they were, yeah, you would say they were canned green beans, or they were in a glass jar. I know somebody who even prepares canned cantaloupe, and I hear it's absolutely delicious. I'm waiting to get a taste of that. Corn is another really good one. Of course, you can do squash, anything like that. You can prepare meals in advance. You can do things like baked eggplant parmesan, where you bake your eggplant on a cookie sheet with Parmesan cheese and a little olive oil that gets it nice and crispy. Then you make eggplant parmesan and freeze it. That's a delicious thing to take out and have. Other ideas are build some stepping stones. Get the cement molds, and you can either start from scratch where you create your own cement and put jewels or marbles or rocks or pieces of glass in it, or you can get those cement steps that are already prepared and you can either paint them, or my thing that I'm working on now is, I'm not working on it right now, I'm in the thought process of it, I want to start working on it, is stepping stones with glow in the dark designs and paints, things that would glow at night. I think that would be really cool when I'm out walking around in the yard to see my glow in the dark stepping stones. I have other friends who have put marbles and broken glass and different things in them, and some make designs and some just do abstract. They're a lot of fun to make and they're great to look at, and again you get to see, hey, this is a great kind of piece of art that I made. Also, stained glass is a really fun thing to do, and it's a little bit more intricate, and it is a process, but you come out with some beautiful pieces. You can actually make sun catchers where you put them up in the window and the sunbeams hit them and you can have rainbows all over your room. That's a cool thing to do. Also, making candles. That's fun. And soap, if you've ever thought about that, like with goat milk and essential oils, that's another fun thing to do. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast, I'll tell you, the platform that I use is buzzsprout.com, and I researched all of them, and I really like this one the best. It's great value. They help you with everything. And they also distribute your podcast, make it available to all the major platforms, Apple, Spotify, all the different ones. You can hear, of course, this, Inspirational Insights by Jeanette Aaliyah, through buzzsprout.com. And I would encourage you, if you've been thinking about doing a podcast, to check them out, buzzsprout.com. That's another thing you could be doing. If you've got all these ideas you want to share, record it, get it out there on Buzzsprout, and hey, you'll feel like you're contributing, and hopefully you'll touch somebody, encourage them, inspire them, get them thinking. You just never know. If you've never really been a dancer, that's also a very good thing to do. You can either take some dance lessons by yourself, you can grab a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a spouse, a mate, a friend, a child, and you can Google it. I actually have some DVDs, and I've Googled it before. There are YouTube videos that will teach you different steps. Some of the ones we like to do the salsa. We also learned the rumba, the swing. We learned the waltz, but we did take a lesson or two for that. And it's just a lot of fun. Gets you moving. You know, you're really getting a nice little cardio event going on for a few minutes, and it's fun. The music's swaying, your body's moving, you can kind of get lost in it for a little while. And even if you're not a dancer or think you're not, turn some music on, move your body to it, sway to it. That was another idea I had. If you're not into any of the suggestions I've given you, or just can't think of anything you want to do, how about if you just play some old music that you love, and you can reminisce, you can be nostalgic about it. Lay on the floor, put your headphones on, or sit in a comfortable chair, or stand up and move around. Find a station that plays what you want, or go to Pandora.com and also plug in the artists that you want to hear, and they'll continue to play different artists similar to that. And that's a free service. But sometimes if you aren't enjoying what's happening right now, you need to kind of think about some easier, freer times. Music is a great catalyst for that. I encourage you to listen to some music. If you make music, that's also a good thing. I say that, and I do love playing the keyboard and the piano. And I've had a piece of music sitting on my piano now, my keyboard, for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I haven't touched it. I haven't even turned my keyboard on. So it's just hard. This is just a difficult time because we think, oh, we've got free time, or for those working from home or still going in, really there's not any more free time. It's actually a little bit harder. Everything takes more time, and you have to, again, follow the new established protocols, whether you're going out or staying in. And that requires more energy and attention, but also getting bombarded by negative, bad, scary news most every day will do a number on your head. You don't want to let that turn into anxiety and a physiological response where your body starts doing things like twitching, whatever it is, palpitations, heart racing, sweaty, all those things, because that's not comfortable and they're scary. And believe me, I'm speaking firsthand here. I've had all of those, but I did learn this week, and I'm going to tell this whole story in my next podcast, but I learned this week that the Lord's answered my prayers and continues to answer my prayers all the time. But in one particular area I've been praying about for about 3 weeks throughout the day, every day, in addition to the healing and the eradication of the virus and health and well-being for my family and me and progress and goodness for everyone, is to lift every fear, anxiety, and doubt off of me. Because I was suffering from anxiety, and I don't want that anymore. I've never wanted it. It's not something you can control, and it's different from stress. Stress is usually caused by a situation. So if you couple stress and the feelings of that type of agitation, plus some anxiety on top of it, which you can't really control, you can try, and you can get control of it, but sometimes it comes on you just from a slightest thought of something, and it's generally completely just off the charts, over worrying about it, over analyzing it, catastrophizing it. Wait, is that a word? Catastrophizing? Making you believe it's a catastrophe. Awfulness. Anxiety just makes you think everything is a whole lot worse than it actually is. For example, if you're getting ready to jump across a ditch and you have anxiety about it, you don't think, oh, no problem, I'll just stretch and jump across a ditch. If I fall in, so what, I get wet. It's probably won't make it across the ditch. Or if I land and do make it, my leg might break, or my ankle or my hip, then I'll be in the hospital and die. Or I might fall in and it's quicksand. Or there could be alligators and snakes in there. I could get bit by a water moccasin. And then that would be it. That would be a poisonous snake bite and have to go to the hospital and die. Or I might drown. I might get stuck head down in the mud, in the ditch, because I won't make it across. I'll definitely fall in and drown. Instead of, okay, let's go. Let's jump the ditch. And you jump the ditch. And you take a deep breath and go for it, and you do jump the ditch. So it comes out of nowhere. It's bizarre thoughts. And it usually stems from some other type of trauma, either recent or in the past that maybe you haven't dealt with, or the trauma is just that. It's trauma, and it causes trouble in your heart and mind and body, and it takes a little while to get over it. It takes a concerted effort to get over that kind of thing. You have to want to, you have to work at it, you have to pray about it a lot and immerse yourself in goodness. Read the Word, read positive affirmations and positive passages about various things, about courage and anxiety. Learn about it, because then you have an intellectual reason for it. And if there's somebody you can talk to, share it with them. A lot of people, though, think that the things you say are really bizarre. Fortunately for me, my sister was somebody that I talked to all the time, every day, and we shared a lot of very weird, bizarre thoughts. I don't have her here to do that anymore, and some of them are really so out there that you don't really want to share them with anybody for fear they're going to think that you're wacko. Anyway, share them with the Lord. He can take it, and He can help you. So there you go with that. Try to move away from having the anxious thoughts. But back to the idea of taking a break from the break. Anything you can think of to do a little bit differently, because I know, first of all, when we went into this whole shelter-in-place pandemic and then moving into gradually getting back out, we had to establish different routines and protocols and different processes just to be at home. So you get those down and you're kind of not really in a rut, but you're definitely in a routine, which is good. We need some structure, but we also need a lack of it. So maybe we need to loosen up a little bit on some things. And now it's summertime. That was always a time in my family that I let our children stay up later. We watched more movies. We ate more ice cream, lots of watermelon. Everything just had a much more relaxed feel about it. And I encourage you to let that happen. The things we cannot be relaxed about are letting our guard down. We don't want to do that. We still have to do some social distancing, even within our families. Make sure that the people you're around are people you trust and have the discussion with them. Every time I talk to my kids, I pretty much say the same thing. Are you practicing social distancing? Who are you seeing? Who are you spending your time with? Are you remembering to wash your hands? And I was told by one of them last night when we spoke that I was starting to insult them a little bit by asking, as though I didn't trust them. That's not the case. It's just like as a mama will do, every time you leave her sight, she will tell you to be careful and take care of yourself. It's just the same kind of thing. It just sounded like there's more expansion going on of experiences, and we cannot let our guard down. Wear your mask, wash your hands, wait the 6 feet. I had to ask a man today to back up. He got right in my space at the grocery store. I had on a mask. He did not. He had one on. It looked like a neck covering that you pull up, but he didn't have it on then. And he just came up and got kind of within about 2 feet of me, and it was time for me to approach the cashier and pay. And I said, "Could you please back up?" And the cashier looked at him and knew him and said, "So-and-so, back up." And he did. He didn't look at me. He didn't acknowledge me. Nobody, really wants to make eye contact either, which is weird. And we will get back to greater societal mannerisms later, especially those that are so important, our social interactions. And a smile can definitely go a long way. And everybody says, smile and the world will smile with you, or a smile can change anything. A smile can change somebody's day. A smile has kept people from committing suicide. A smile really does make the difference. And I try to always smile. It can really diffuse a situation. It can just change how you feel about things and how the other person feels about it. So I try my best to smile and not get cranky or irritable or anything like that. And it's not easy, especially if you're hot or you hadn't had enough to eat, things aren't moving along as quickly or as smoothly as you would like, or you've got a bunch of stuff on your mind, or you're scared because this whole mess is scary. So be aware of what you're feeling and how you interact with others. I've been telling everybody at the grocery store when I leave, y'all are doing a great job. And anybody I see, I'm telling them they're doing a great job. Everybody's important. So now it's just important to reach out, especially to the folks who are working so hard. Tell them they're doing a great job and you appreciate it. Be kind and loving. Try to have fun with this. It's summertime. Lighten up. Set your goals. Give yourself a chance to relax. Keep your social distance. Do something different. Bake some bread. Put up some jam. Make some candles. Make some stained glass. Do some dancing, move around, listen to some music, have some fun. Write to me, JanettaLeah@gmail.com. Share my podcast. Also check us out on YouTube, Inspirational Insights by Janetta Leah. Please give me thumbs up and as many stars as possible. If you know anyone who would like to get exposure on my podcast and videos, hook us up, JanettaLeah@gmail.com. Y'all have a blessed day. Go forth and take a break from the break. It's okay to not think about the pandemic, how weird things are, the violence, the murder hornets, the hurricanes on the horizon. Let's not think about that for a little while. Give yourself a day off or more. Give it to the Lord. Thank you. Have a great day. Toodaloo! So how do we take a break from the break? Remember when you used to look at your packed day planner or calendar and think, "Oh my lands, how am I going to